Hey everyone, welcome to Corporate Communication. Our section today will be the Chapter 7, Internal Communication, presenting by our four members. The structure will include four parts. First part will be a short introduction, then the problem raising, why we need internal communication, and then proposing some techniques to solve the problem. Last but not least is the role of the management. Let's get started. As we already know, for many years, the attention of a company, as always, is the external relationship. In other words, is the customer care strategies. But time changed, business environment changed. Currently and with future setup, company will focus not only on the external relationship, but also the internal relationship between the employees and the company. And this is the fundamental stone for the internal communication. To understand the need of internal communication, we will go into details about the problem, why the changing environment and internal communication have a close relationship. Let's see first about the personal change. Employee value and expectation change compared to the past. Since most of employees nowadays have like high educated and they have high level expectation of their achievements. They want to understand more about the company that they work for. This raise the needs of internal communication with their managers. Secondly, with the workplace change, the workloads are greater. The company focus more on the employee performance as well as they look to improve efficiency. That lead to the layoff topics, how to communicate with with the employee who still remain in the company and who will be let go. This raised the need of internal communication between the employees and their line managers. Finally, about the business environment. The continuous change in the business environment leads the company leader to think about how to adapt to the change of their environment, how to change their strategy to the new trend. This raised the need of internal communication to connect the employee to the company strategy change. And with this urgent need of an effective internal communication, next section will be continued by my friend about how the company can solve the problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Thi. Now let's continue with the goals. What are the goals for effective internal communications? A conference board study of over 200 companies in a wide range of industries reveals what top managers see as the key goals for effective internal communications. Those goals are following. The first one is to improve morale and boost goodwill between employees and management. The second is to inform employees about internal changes, such as recognition of the staff promotions. Next is to explain compensation and benefit plans, such as a new health care plan or an employee assistance program. Fourth is to increase employee understanding of the company and its product, organization, ethics, culture, and external environment. The fifth is to change employee behavior toward becoming more productive, quality-oriented, and entrepreneurial. Next is to increase employee understanding of major health and social issues or trends affecting them, such as child care or AIDS. Seventh, to encourage employee participation in community activities. In addition to these particular goals, a primary aim of the internal communication is to create the creation of an atmosphere in which employees know that they are important assets to the firm. This can happen only if management believes that that's true, and of course, if the communication efforts is handled by the professionals. Now let's continue with the question, where should internal communication reports? In the past, since traditional human resources dealt with all matters related to employees' welfare, internal communication reported to this function. However, recent surveys show that over 80% of the corporations in the United States place the responsibility for the internal communications in the corporate communication area. Often, however, both areas have some involvement with the internal communications. Ideally, both the corporate communication and human resources departments in large companies have something in charge of internal communication. Although human resources and corporate communication are the most common cases, sometimes companies look also outside of their own company for the help with the internal communication. As the importance of the internal communication gains recognition, it's not surprising that public relations and consulting firms are developing capabilities in the area of internal communication, or that companies are increasingly turning to them for assistance. That's all from my part. Now our groupmate me will continue the next part. Thank you.
When goals for internal communication program are established and decisions made about where the function should report, the program is ready for implementation. In this section, we will explore some of the key steps to implement an effective internal communication program, ranging from personal mechanisms to mass distribution. The first method is communicating up and down. The problem with many big companies is that they are perceived as being faceless, unfeeling organizations, when no upward communication exists from employees to management. Therefore, when high-level managers isolate themselves from employees, communication can never happen. In this case, the best approach to communicate with employees is through informal discussion. Employees need to feel secure enough to ask questions and offer advice. So the key takeaway here is respecting employees, listening to them, and interacting with them. The second method is face-to-face meetings in either large groups or small groups. Large groups meeting should take place frequently, at least quarterly. It should be used as opportunities for management to share company results and progress on key initiatives, and employees can also ask questions in an open forum. The topic for these meetings should be limited to one or two critical issues from employee perspective, plus one or more core messages from management. Small groups meeting with employees can be used when management is seeking employees' feedback or opinions about key initiatives or resolving specific problems. The most common ways to share information in the company is through print medium. Monthly newsletters or magazines can be used to make employees feel like a part of the team. The content of these magazines need to provide employees with a real story about what is happening to the company and the industry as well. The newsletters can be distributed directly at the workplace or even sent to employees' homes. It helps make the company a part of the family, something as a source of pride for the employees and for his or her spouse. Moreover, memos or letters can also be used to communicate about internal changes, especially in major events such as a takeover or a merger. And these written communications should be sent out frequently so that employees do not feel it is unusual. My friend will continue with the other method to implement effective internal communication. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Nhu. I will introduce the rest of the methods. First of all, it is communicated visually. Employees are becoming more visually oriented in their consumption of information. Large corporations have elaborate television studios to create video magazines, which help employees feel part of the organization and feel more connected. If the video production is more well done, it can be moral poster as well as a visual history of the company. Visual communication does not always have to be high-tech. Companies can even use, for example, whiteboards, race card billboard for visual communication. Next method is communicate online. The advent of company internet provided a new channel through which companies can reach employees quickly and promptly, receive employees' reviews on company programs, which contribute to building trust. Communication online offered the same benefits as live discussion group. Internet technology is extremely powerful. Therefore, it must be used thoughtfully in order to enhance communication, not detract from the impact of management's message. Employees need to ensure their messages are getting through to employees. An effective internal communication strategy should focus on both content and channel. Surveys can reveal how employees would like to receive different types of information. Then managers can decide what types of information a company's internet will be best channel for. Companies should also focus on internal branding. Internal branding is also important to building morale and creating a workplace where employees are engaged with their job. Internal branding is especially critical when an organization is undergoing changes such as mergers or a change in leadership. Internal branding can also be considered when there is a new launch advertising campaign, when employees are not connecting with the company vision, when the morale is low, or when internal and external marketing messages are misaligned. Internal branding aims to create emotion ties among employees and company, make employees believe that they can help company to achieve its target. Final method is company grapevine. Company grapevine should be considered as much of a communication vehicle as the company's house organ or employee meetings. About 70% of all organizational communication occurs at the grapevine level, where managers can find out what employees think by simply ask questions. My friend will continue with the next part. Thank you very much.
Finally, let's continue with the role of the management level in internal communication. Management level includes CEOs and other senior leaders who are the cultural carriers and visionaries within a company. That means all the messages about the organizational strategy and vision will go from them through the internal communication to all the employees. Since then, in order to make sure that all the employees receive and understand thoroughly the company's strategy, the upper level need to closely work with the internal communication department. And this coordination is vitally important to the success of the internal communication. In conclusion, we would like to point out again that beside all the technique how to implement an internal communication program in an organization, a crucial factor in an effective internal communication system is the management by working around philosophy, which means the manager needs to get out from behind their desk, go out, have personal contact, and get to know their employees. And this philosophy bring us to the end of our presentation today. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any question, any doubt, any comments, please send out via Moodle. We are always open for discussion. Thank you.